Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today. Going into a wonderful weekend. Today, I want to talk to you about selling your Transformers. And yes, I do talk about selling stuff quite a bit more than most people because one of my personal goals going forward is to sell my old to buy new, and that's my budget. And I think that I'm at that place where I kind of need to do that. A lot of us are at that place where we have enough stuff that we can sell off our old to fund new purchases. And with that, I'm going to have some tips and tricks for selling your stuff. And the reality of it is, not all of these tips and tricks are things you want to hear, but it's reality that we live in 2026. So I'm gonna get into talking about this. I've been wanting to make this video in 2026, and we're doing it now. Coming up. All right, what places do you sell? There's a lot of options for selling right now. I mean, there's Etsy, Mercari. Mercari's got its ups and downs. It's got its ups and downs, but generally you kind of get a lower price when you're buying on Mercari. So if you're selling on Mercari, don't expect to get as much as you're getting on eBay. Smaller platform, less users, less people looking at it. And then we've got Facebook. There's a lot of things on Facebook you can do. You can sell on just Marketplace locally. You can sell in groups, and there's just a lot you can do with it. But I have zero luck on Facebook, and it's just a waste of time for me. But and I definitely wouldn't do any of this Facebook Pay and all that nonsense. I still suggest PayPal for all of that. And with that, if you're selling outside of like Mercari or one of those structured ones, Etsy and those places, then I still suggest PayPal because they are very solid. And of course, eBay is still number one, reigns supreme for the platform for selling used stuff, selling your used junk. Well, a lot of the stuff's not junk. It's actually pretty good stuff. So first thing is first, you need to decide the price. And again, people that bash eBay, the eBay haters out there, it's the first place they go to price their stuff is eBay, because they don't go to Mercari to price their stuff. They don't go to Etsy to price their stuff. They don't go to Lee's Action Figure Toy Review. They go to eBay to price their stuff. When you're pricing your item that you're going to sell, then you need to look at what everybody else is selling it for. If it's available to purchase for $100, then why would somebody give you $150? And yeah, there are some listings that start at 100. It'd be interesting to see where those end up after bids and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you want to be below what everybody else is asking if you want to move your stuff. Now, if you price it above what everybody else is asking, just expect to sit on it for a long time. And if you're okay with that, or maybe it's a piece that you still really like, but you'd like to sell it if somebody's willing to pay the price. I mean, there's all kinds of different schools of thought. But if you want to move it, and you want to move it relatively quickly, price it below what everybody else is charging or what the market is, and you'll sell a lot faster. So another factor I want to talk about is timing for selling your stuff. Maybe it's not a good time right now to sell your 1.0 Sovereign. I think that a year from now, those will be commanding higher prices than what they're commanding now. But maybe right now, if you got a extra big load to get rid of, you might be able to. This is all for X Transbot's big load that's on eBay right now. And I saw one in an auction go for $95. I didn't need another one. I just watched it for fun, but because somebody brought it up, and I think I even sent them the link to that auction, that listing. But with this, I mean, there's no other ones out there. There's no other options. If you want to build your X Transbots Devastator, even I think these are the toy versions, you're still going to have to pony it up somewhere to get one, unless X Transbots magically puts out big load again after they're done completing their combiner. But yeah, again, timing. Some of the stuff you want to put up for sale, you're going to lose money on. I also want to talk about, could you get more money if you have the box? And I'm at the point where I have been letting go of a lot more boxes lately. And when you go to sell it without the box, you don't get as much. I don't care who you are and what you're. A lot of people say that you get the exact same amount. It doesn't make a difference. It makes a huge difference. And it can be as much as $50 to $70. And it's not the box itself. I believe that people feel like you took better care of your item because you kept the box. That's just my belief of what fans believe, collectors believe. But yes, I do think you get a higher price if you have the box. And in the case of maybe a really, really rare item that only a couple are up, probably not a whole lot more. But if there's 30 items out there, 15 don't have a box, 15 do. The 15 with the box getting a higher price. When you're selling something, you need to have good pictures. I gotta say this, I do not like when people put stock pictures up of the item they're selling. I don't like that. I mean, maybe it's still new in the box, so the stock picture, because you can't see the item, is new in the box. I kind of understand that. Show the box, but have good pictures. Now, this is more of a CYA, cover your assets. You have to cover yourself, because if you don't take good pictures, and we get to the next one here, then someone will get it and they'll go, well, there's damage to it I didn't know, and I didn't know there was damage. I want to return it, and you're just losing your money on shipping. Or if you battle them, that's another thing that we're going to kind of get into. But if you battle on, say, eBay, and I'm not sure about Mercari so much, and I know even with PayPal, if you battle the seller, you'll probably lose. So just accept the return and move on. And if you feel like they were unreasonable, block them. I mean, that's just the way it is. But good pictures so you cover your assets. Also have a good description of the item. I'm not picking on this seller at all, but I am going to say that this is not a good description. It says it's X-Transbots Ultra Magnus, and then at the bottom it says it's a Imperial Stormtrooper figure. Contents of it. Great toy for collectors. I also want to say, do not use AI at all in your descriptions. That's just a bunch of mess and jargon that doesn't help the buyer and understand if it's what they want. And I've found that those are the most annoying listings, where it just takes your title and then it writes a little paragraph of nonsense to try to sell you on it. But that's not what people want. What people want is facts. Are facts about the figure, condition. Does it transform? Have you transformed it? That's what they want. They don't want nonsense jargon, and they don't want stuff that doesn't match up and make sense. Next point, open it up to international. If you're selling your stuff, help people out. Not everybody has access to stuff, especially older figures that just aren't around anymore. Not everybody has access to that. But I mean, outside of Transformers, I've had a lot of help from a lot of people in a lot of different countries. Help me collect stuff that wasn't ever sold in the US. And I mean, we're talking from Captain Power to Inspector Gadget stuff to Galaxy Rangers and all of that. And if it wasn't for people willing to open it up to international shipping and help me out, I wouldn't have been able to get this stuff. And then, of course, I have a friend in the UK that helps me tremendously. I'm so grateful for all the help. But with that, just have that mindset. You're helping collectors out in the rest of the world. Also right now, and I've touched on this before, but the dollar is down a bit, so all these other currencies seem to be doing really well when buying stuff from the US. And with all of that, US buyers like to buy within the US now more often than outside because of tariffs. So open it up to international. All right, the next point is a twofer point. A twofer. Pack your items well, because it could arrive like this. If you got enough bubble wrap in there and you used a big enough box, not barely the right size, but a little oversized, so you can have some padding in it. Anything that I pack, if I'm sending something out, will survive if it shows up looking like this. And you got to have that mentality. You can't control what happens with UPS or FedEx or Post Office or any of that, DHL. You can't control all that, but you can control how well you pack it. Also, ship it fast. And here's another, this is kind of another point. This is a selfish point. Ship it fast because you want them to get it as fast as possible so that you can use that money sooner. So if you wait 4 days to ship it out, and then it takes a week to get there, it's 11 days. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand the people. I understand working a full-time job and all that kind of stuff. But I would still, the first thing I do when I get home, I saw something sold, I'd pack it up and have it ready to go. Drop it off post office on the way to work the next day, or after I get off work the next day, or something like that. I mean, that's how I had done things. But with this, ship it as fast as you can, pack it really well. Next, reply to messages as much as possible, because you know you're selling it to a person. You have to remember there's always someone else on the other end there that's buying it from you. And I, as a 30 years of buying and just a few years of selling, I still think about it more from the buyer perspective, even when I'm listing something or selling something. So understand, the quicker you get back to them prompt, you want to respond. You definitely want to take care of any issue, and you want to give as much information as you can if they have questions. Sometimes it's annoying. You'll get 15, 20 questions and nobody will buy it, but it is what it is. But I guarantee you this, it's far worse on Facebook than it is on eBay or Mercari with questions. Next, you got to think of service after the sale. If you sell something to someone and it arrives to them broken, imagine how you'd feel. If they're cool enough to be like, hey, would you just knock, this thing here I'm looking at is $15. If you can knock $5 off, I'll just repair it. Or something like that. That's what shipping would be anyway. That's cool. There's other people that have the belief, never offer partial refund, make them return it, because they believe in scam. I gotta say, if you are selling something, you are definitely going to get scammed. If you're selling a lot of stuff, if you sell 100 items, one of those someone's going to scam you one way, shape, or form. It may be very small, not a big deal, but there's so many different types of scams out there, and with that, most people are good, but like 1 out of 100 they're gonna feel like they need to do something shady to get over on someone, and that's just part of the game. So don't take it out on the other 99. And generally, most of the time I've found that if like something arrives broken somehow, even if I packed it perfect, I've only had 2 things ever break in shipping. And with that, I own mistakes, so I'm going to get up to the next one. All right, next, own up to your mistakes. The most common mistake I see, and it's not easy, but it's able to remedy. When people will pack 3 packages and put the wrong label on the wrong package. And like this is showing that you're using thermal and the heat has messed up the label. I don't like thermal labels at all, but that's just me. Anyhow, mixing up the label on the package is ridiculous. Pack it 1 item at a time, get it labeled, then do the next one, because that is a big pain in the butt. And sometimes it does look like, it does have the appearance that the seller is doing something shady, especially when you're someone that gets a $10 item, but you bought a $100 item. It does feel like something shady, but always, always, always own up to a mistake that you made and make it right. Always. Because the other end of that is you're going to get financially damaged with the return, a case getting opened. You'll lose the case. Always, always, always own mistakes. That's all I got. I was going to go into record keeping and stuff for tax purposes. Of course, that's always going to be a concern, but maybe that'll be for another day. And with that, let me know what you guys think about this. Do you have any selling tips in there? And was this helpful to anyone? Because I don't make these videos. Well, I do make them for fun, actually. But I also make them to be helpful. Let me know in the comments. So like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Teddy Hanger out.